Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell. And welcome to the outskirts of Moscow. Interesting video today, a little bit overcast, but I think we'll have a good time. If you're wondering where I am, I'm in the northeast of Moscow. I just got off the train at Saltykovskaya railway station. And this is one of the last stations on the D4 route. Interestingly, I live at the very opposite end, and where we want to go is just on the other side of the tracks right there. So this train actually has my home destination right on the front, as the young guy stands there as it departs. Now these aren't the modern trains, however, if I ride the train all the way to the last station, so we're here at Saltykovskaya, and then all the way to the end is Balashikha, and that's where I live, in the southwest of Moscow. The actual place I want to take you to starts actually in the underground passageway as I come down from the platform, and this is a very famous and very well-known flea market. I want to take you to one of Russia's oldest flea markets, and the chaos and the hecticness of it starts right here. So the actual main market itself is on the other side of the railway tracks. However, depending on the weather, quite a lot of the different sellers or vendors have their stalls out here on the underground passage, and this market is not quite year-round because you can actually come here in winter, but more people come to it when the weather is better. And today I think we're in for a nice afternoon. If you are ever in Moscow, or maybe you're watching and you live here, you take the D4 to one of the last stations and then come right outside, and it starts as you get off the train and then extends all the way up the footpath towards the local buses. You can see just off in the distance the small bus station, and then the actual main part of the market is just ahead of us here. Now I will say it's probably not glamorous, but this is typical Russia. This market could be anywhere in the Russian Federation. There is actually about 5 or 6 different ones in Moscow and the Moscow region, and this is one of the more famous ones. It has a very big mix of things for sale, and hopefully all of the vendors will be polite and nice. Naturally, when you're holding a camera, not everybody is so welcoming. Somebody selling some tomatoes, also a capsicum. So what they do is they buy this in bulk and they bring it here. Once they're sold out, they are done for the day. Very easy. So there is quite a lot of different stalls, and the main part of the market is all of the people selling second-hand items and all sorts of things. And then this area, when you first come in, has some fruits and vegetables, and generally whatever's in season. Now there is actually a year-round part of the market back here. You can see these shipping containers, and generally most of that doesn't open on the weekend. I'm not sure why. And then this market just appears from nowhere on Saturdays and Sundays. Most of the things are all the staple food items: potatoes, onions, cucumbers, and then you have this wild mix of everything in the middle. And there is established vendors that come every week here, and then there's some temporary ones. So it's very simple what they do, especially with the fruit and veg. They just set up these pop-up stands, pick whatever you like, and then it's usually by kilo that you're paying. And not everything is amazing, but you can find some good deals. Mangoes. I think these are the Chinese grapes. They're like so big. These giant ones. Let's keep going. Now, there is a very large housing area where we are here. It's a very old part of the Moscow region. So you can get some flowers or some bed sheets. You can decide what you want. And now with the weather slowly getting better every week, it'll get busier every time you come here, right through till summer. And then you've got these kind of back of the car boot stalls. It's always my luck when I've got the camera that I can't get close to see things. So it's a mixture of some new items and some second-hand items. Lots of things that are very eclectic. I think that's the best way to describe it. I think the rain is going to hold off. Well, we hope it will. See, look how many people are here. So I've come ideally right about the right time. I think it starts about 6 in the morning. So coming just a little bit later. Need some readers. And what I'll do, I'll just go for a bit of a walk around and we'll have a look at what's on the stands. Mini cucumbers, cherry tomatoes, and then all of the other stands and stalls kind of go down this car park area here. There's a lot of people here, really a lot. Some dried fruits, got some different salamis and meats. Now it may not look beautiful, but you can get some bargains and you can do your shopping. Even the butcher here, if you want some cuts of meat. And you're buying directly from the seller. There's no brand, there's no name above the door or anything like that. Different cured meats, salamis, pickled vegetables. And then on the opposite side is all of the different vendors. So there is quite a lot that are the same people that come every week. And then there is some that just come as a one-off. How about some fish? I think there is absolutely something for everybody when you come to these flea markets. And this being one of the largest ones in Moscow. Pair of shoes, maybe a phone cable. It's hard to kind of pin down all the different things. Some pickled cabbage. Maybe you want some salo, very well known, famous food in Russia. So all of the very typical fruits and vegetables. And again, I'll say it's by design how they do this. What they've generally got for the refrigerated ones, they've normally got a little truck out the back. And what they do, they just sell through what they've got here. And that's their business done for the day. And some pickled veg, sausages. Now, depending on where you're from in the world, this may look very normal, well, this may look very strange. And the main thing is you're getting fresh fruits, fresh vegetables that are as fresh and as cheap as possible without the supermarkets getting involved. That's a lot to see. Now I will do kind of one lap around, so the video may be a little bit long. It's almost like a small outdoor supermarket here. Lots of kind of normal things that you can get in the stores, but you can get them cheaper because they're not selling it in the shop, so they're not paying rent, they're not paying electricity, they're just paying a stall fee to be here, and they don't bring a lot of things. They bring enough to do business for the day, and you can pretty much do your whole supermarket shopping here. Have a look at this, Malteser chocolate sauce. That's kind of interesting. One of the stalls that I always like to look at is when they've got the coins and banknotes and pins, and there's some very interesting older ones as well. Even you can get them from when they had the Olympics here in Russia. Football ones, a lot of stuff that's from the times of the USSR, Soviet Union, even some from McDonald's. It's so fascinating to kind of look at what they've got. And then all of these kind of middle vendors here pretty much have everything that you'll ever want. You just have to find it. I think that's the fun of coming to flea markets, is that kind of desire to walk up and down and look at every stand and hope you didn't miss something. Maybe a new pair of jeans, jacket, flowers. Oh, there's another one here with coins and notes. Check some of these out. So you can get the 10 ruble coins for 25 rubles. But these are the ones from the different regions of Russia. So if you maybe want to collect all the different regions, all the pins, one there with a Union Jack on as well. It's so fascinating. And if you are into flea markets or antique markets, I think a visit here is a must on a Saturday or Sunday. Now, of course, some people like to call these trash or treasure, and I think it's well known. One man's trash is another man's treasure, and you might find something that's you're going to add to your collection. You might just find something very obscure. There is actually a couple of different markets in Moscow. Probably the most famous one closer to the center is Izmailova Vernissage, which is the one at Izmailova Kremlin, metro station Partizanskaya. And then the other one on the northwest of Moscow is it Levsha Market, or Lefty Market, I think is the name that they call it. You can get the train there as well. I don't know the station. Maybe some old electronics, these different things. I think only people who really know what they are know what they're buying. There's some tea urns or samovars back there. Maybe some old phones. Everything. If you need a ball of string, the same guy can help you. Fishing rods. And this market has been the same since I first came to Moscow. There's no really need to upgrade it or change it. It does exactly what it says on the tin. All of these stands and stalls, some records. It's a little bit of everything. Find yourself a new watch. Maybe something old and valuable. Maybe something straight off the boat from China. All the phones. Now the main thing is, ideally it's not raining and not wet, so it's a little bit easier to walk around. Some new fishing items. And then clothes. Some shoes. And they quite literally just hang them on the fence of the railway station. Not a problem at all. Have a look at these coin collections in these books down here. How cool is that? Mirrors, keychains. So maybe people are collectors. Maybe a lot of people coming for nostalgic items, or they just miss shopping at Gap, one or the other. Get yourself a Gap hoodie. Who would have thought Gap left Russia 3 years ago? Yeah, we can get the sweater right on the back wall there. Lots of fascinating things, and then the stands just keep going and going. As you keep walking down the back, the actual conditions of the place get a little bit worse slowly, and I think I've almost reached the last point that I can walk without turning around or buying some farmer's boots, because that's the end of the market. Now this is really caused by all the snow in winter, and what happens, it just gets piled up and then left here, and as it melts it basically just floods some of the open areas like this. How about a new hat? Let's see if we can scooch through just here. So of course everything you're seeing here is cash transactions. Eurospa, if you follow the channel. I was just there. Sorry, спасибо. So this part gets a little bit awkward to walk through, but it's okay. Some clothes. And generally, the almost one-off vendors come back here. Actually, it's fenced off, so I'm a little bit caught in a corner. We can have a dig through. Some clothes if you need something. I think for everybody, this is not uncommon. The big box of cables, and if you need the one that exactly matches your phone, check out this TV here. That's pretty cool. VHS player, car stereo. Looks like it's brand new. That TV's pretty neat though. And the kids can find some new toys. Some VHS tapes. Actually, I think some of these are just recorded onto original blanks as well. And then you've just got things kind of piled up like this. So if you can find something, some cassettes back there, some old books. It's just interesting, I think, to come and have a look for something maybe different, something that reminds you of the past.
А сумки ваши?
Got some knives and forks, bottle of perfume. Check out those shears or scissors. Huh. I think if anyone's ever been to a flea market, now in Australia we call them swap meets. And I wonder if where you live it's got a different name. I wonder where the expression flea market come from without Googling it. Maybe there was some fleas at some point, I don't know. Some more books. So there is a little bit of a mix of new things and old things. And you can find something, I think, by the end of the day as you walk around. It's again quite muddy back here. Really just the snow melting. This is the problem. This new inbox items. Maybe a new toothbrush. Jeans, hats. These old dumbbells. Check those out. Oh, sewing machine. That's cool. Super interesting. Suitcase. And hopefully the music won't get drowned out. Even some tools over here. One of these snow blowers. Let's see if we can get across the stepping stones and away from the mud. Okay, so it goes all the way back down the street. Well, at least a little way. Even at the far end of the market, there is a lot of people. And I think maybe the further you walk from the entrance, the better bargain you might get. Obviously, by the time you've walked from one end to the other, you might have spent your money or you're still looking for something. Have a look at these axe heads and hammers. All of these tools, old vices. I think we've all got vices. If you get my Australian humor, some glassware, and just stand after stand, maybe looking for a new paddle for his canoe. I think this is the fun of this, is to come here, Здравствуйте, and you know, not knowing what you'll come across, and just the eclectic mix. Particularly if you're not from Russia originally, like myself, you know, I'm seeing things that I've never seen before. I don't understand what some things are. And then other things are very typical flea market finds. It's a bag of Lego right there. Sunglasses. So as you get towards the back of the market, you can then see all of the houses that pretty much back right onto this place. So at least a couple of days a week, they get plenty of people passing by. I'm surprised they don't roll up their garage door and have their own table set up. clothes. There's a skateboard down there. Some more coins. So some of them actually are dated and they're in sleeves. So you can find something. And then again, the resellers of the food and cleaning products. I am forever reading in my comments that, you know, you're going to the beautiful parts of Moscow, you're showing expensive supermarkets, fancy shopping centers. And then I thought I'd bring you to one of these very typical markets and show you that there is a lot of normal to Russia, and sometimes you have to walk through the mud to find all the treasures, all the drill bits, some new boots. It's, I think for me, very fascinating. When I was living in Australia with my wife, we lived very close to a weekend market that was every Sunday. And like I said, they're called swap meets. And we'd go over there, always hoping we'd find something, or I would anyway. My wife never saw the value in most things. But I think these sorts of places are different to everybody. Some plastic flowers, or you can get some shrink wrap, or some hand tools. There's some new and old ones mixed together. I think quite a few of these are a mixture of Russian or Chinese products, just because of the nature of where we are. However, you can get yourself a bit of a deal. Have a look at these knives right here. It's like cleaver. This one. Some toys. A bit more clothing. Some shoes. It's really what you're after, or what you might find. But I think, though, it's very interesting. Just the amount of people here. That's what's got me a little bit. I didn't expect such a large crowd of people. And it maybe hair coloring. I always wonder where they get all this stuff from, especially the stuff in boxes. It's all perhaps new. I don't know if some stuff's out of date or not. Maybe a knife. Some records. It's hard to know where to look. Especially when you see all the old things. And there's cassettes there that are still in their shrink wrap. Some watches, pins. I don't know what these things are. I think these are maybe the lights for the apartment. Old Nokia phone. You can see just how many stalls there are here. Is that what they're called? Stall stands. It's Pioneer amp. These old cameras. Wow. The head unit from the car. It's. Oh, and here's another one with coins. Oh, they have some from Sochi. right there. Stamps. Coins. Oh, postcards as well. Check those out. All the pins. 30th anniversary of Aeroflot British Airways. I guess maybe some corporation that they had. So I wonder for anybody watching what sort of things you might collect or what you find interesting when you walk around these places. Maybe an old phone. There's a small shop where I live that fixes phones, and he has a display of all the old ones, almost like a mini museum, and also where people have brought them in or traded them in. I don't know what they do. And it's kind of a look back in time. What are these things? Are they parts? Okay, for sewing machines maybe? Check out that. Old sewing machine there. Wow. Oh. So I just want to point out, you might hear people speaking, and quite a lot of people confuse me for being American purely because I'm speaking English, and quite often I just stop recording and then go over and chat to them, let them know I'm from Australia, that I live here in Moscow. And of course, there's a lot of happy, friendly, positive people in the world. And then of course, occasionally people who are not happy with certain things or certain countries. So I like to point out where I'm from as much as I can.
Moscow, привет. Very good, все хорошо. Австралия, привет. Moscow, Russia. Very good, спасибо.
Пожалуйста. The different guys here. I mean, I've got such a smile on my face from walking around. Anyone ever have one of these 3D art pictures where they change as you walk past them? There is lots of very nice, friendly people. Oh. And everybody actually wants to be on camera. It's almost sometimes the opposite when you come to things like this, where some people just are not happy with everything in the world. Maybe some stuff for the kitchen. And get yourself some new cutlery, or maybe new glassware, plates. Maybe you're missing one from your set and you need to complete it. These fossils, I wonder. And the pins. There's one there with Dynamo. There's definitely a big fascination with coming to this particular market because of how long it's been here, how old it is, all the items. And maybe you've been searching for years to find that one thing. It's gone a little bit overcast very quickly. I wonder if rain might come at some point. We'll walk down a couple more aisles and hope we can fend off the weather. And then you can hear the train going by and you start to wonder. I'm pretty sure they know how to handle this once it starts raining. Shoes. And just lots of mixed clothing. Just have a dig through. There is a lot. I'm going to say it. There's a lot of people here. A lot more than what I thought. Just a matter of hoping to go home with something. Especially with so many stands. I wonder, some people looking for a bargain, or some people collectors. Wow, this is really nice. All of this crystal. So I think some of this may be originally from Czechoslovakia. It's very interesting. It's just interesting also the way that some people have got their stuff displayed. Have a look at this old football game. Check this out. A couple of them work. I think a couple of them are, oh, okay, they're spring-loaded. That is very cool. Huh. I guess you've got like a little small ball that you shoot around. It's the thing with coming to these markets. There is things in here that are very normal every day, and then things that are just completely old and original. And clothes. Even just buttons. I think sometimes a lot of people will be overwhelmed walking around. Okay, here is the old records. I wonder if there's any from the factory where I live. There was one very famous record factory, and pretty much before the fall of the Soviet Union, and before really tapes and then CDs and then digital music, there was one factory producing records for the USSR and then going into the Soviet Union times in Prelivka. And the Melodia record factory was famous with their records. These are glasses, CDs. If these are maybe background music, I don't know. Okay, maybe I'm a little bit on the wrong side, I think, here. I'm not sure. Feel like I am. I think it's okay. Don't mind the bars on the phone. I just pulled up the map of the area and no rain for about 2 hours, so we're good. When my wife and I were living in Australia, I actually had a little bit of a side hustle myself, and I was buying movies or DVDs and Blu-rays, and I would actually come to swap meets, as we call them in Australia, and then try to find some hidden treasure, and then I would resell them on eBay and hopefully make some money. My family, and particularly my brother-in-law, did some maths, and I was not making a whole lot, enough to live off. But I enjoy doing it, coming to the markets and then searching out some of the media resellers, and hopefully found something that's a hidden gem and I can sell for big money. Most of them, there was really no value in them, except the fact that they weren't available in shops. And even coming to somewhere like this, There's probably some value hidden somewhere here. And then other things, you know, they're not worth something to most people. If you're missing the frying pan lid, we know where to come to. Or one missing glass for our cupboard. It's stand after stand. Gentleman here with some music and CDs. I'm not sure though. I think it's a mixture actually of English music and Russian music together. And you get kind of people just coming for a chat and to make some friends, or they come regularly, they know each other. All of the books. There's lots to choose from. So I've actually found a shopper here at the market. Now let everybody know your name.
Georgi. George in English.
Okay, and where are you from?
From Grozny, but we came here maybe more than 30 years ago because of the situation in Grozny.
Okay.
You understand what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. So you live in this nearby Balashikha
Now I live in Balashikha. All my family with all my children and grandchildren, they live next to us.
Very nice. Now this market here, Saltykovskaya, it's been here a lot of years.
Yes. And we always visit this market, and where we can find some good things which we buy.
So sometimes they call it trash or treasure.
Trash or treasure.
Would you agree with this, that you have to really like hunt around?
How it is said? No. From to riches. From rags to riches.
Rags to riches, yes.
From rags to riches.
Start off with nothing.
So you can say, you can look at me and you can judge.
I love your
from
look.
Rags
I
to
love
riches.
I love this look. And I think you're only the second person I've met who spoke English today. So, and are you collecting something particular? Do you have a collection?
No. Accidentally, we find very useful things, very gorgeous things. We buy them. Because sometimes the items presented here are really very expensive, but the people who sell them don't understand it, and we can get them in a low price.
So we if we found like some treasure,
of course,
we don't show excitement. We just, how much is it?
Well, for example, several years ago, we went to the market, to this market, to that place, and there we saw very good Topman shoes.
Okay.
Topman shoes, new, with a piece of paper, with a check inside. They were bought in 1982.
Wow.
We paid, and I had the same shoes in 1982. We bought these shoes and paid 500 rubles. We came home, put these shoes on Avita and sold it for 10,000 rubles. Really?
Wow. So
I'm not joking.
From $5 to $100.
Yeah.
So we can find some treasure here somewhere.
Of course you can find.
Because
there are some people who bring very precious things.
Yes.
And you can buy them.
I also like to see all the old cameras and the Russia. There was a sewing machine over here from Podolsk, from Moscow region.
Podolsk.
You're correct.
Sorry for my pronunciation.
No, it's completely fine. You're an amazing guy, by the way, and thank you so much for being.
You're welcome anytime.
Thank you.
You're welcome anytime.
I just want to say a big thank you to George and his lovely wife. Such a nice couple. Actually, I only met them a few minutes before I pressed record, and it's so nice and refreshing to chat about everyday life, and we can talk about anything, right? It's the whole point, I think, coming to these markets to see something new, meet somebody new, and immerse yourself in local things to do. So thank you, George, for the chat, and I hope you get to see this at some point on your TV at home. As I slowly make my way towards the exit and the last few stands, there's a guy here with endless power tools. I think some almost new ones or lots of old ones and refurbished ones. He's got quite a collection of them. And then on the floor here, maybe he takes them apart and puts them together to resell them. It's just interesting, the different things that you can find. And is this typical? I probably should have asked George what his answer is, because it's typical for me. I like coming to somewhere like this and seeing something that is very normal in other countries, and Russia is no different, where they've got flea markets like we see, and just that extreme mix of things. It's just so many different items. As I wait on the platform for my train home, I hope you've enjoyed this video, seeing a Russian typical market. And I think they call it a flea market here in Russia. If it's got another name in your country, perhaps in England, Canada, Australia, America, wherever you are in the world, let me know what you call that kind of market. I think it was super interesting. I have been here a few times before and not filmed, and even just meeting different people, and to meet George and his wife as well was super nice. We actually chatted for quite a while off camera, so I hope it's made an interesting video for you. Not going to a famous shopping center or luxury supermarket. I came to a Russian typical market. You could buy food, you could buy souvenirs, you could buy all sorts of things there. I think, or I hope, in the comments you let me know what you'd like. This one isn't my train, that's going in the wrong direction. Mine's the next one coming ahead of me when it turns up. So thumbs up if you like the video, post a comment, and then if you want to follow me on social media, the link to my Telegram is right here, and then the link to an old video will be on this side, and you can keep traveling with Russell. Okay everybody, I'm off on another adventure. Bye.